except for John Davis. I didn't count.
John Davis is absent. We are all here. I'm going to go ahead and admit everybody. Admit all. We're going to start the recording. All right. Stephen, the floor is. You probably have 30 seconds before it hits 7 o'clock. Stephen, you can start the meeting. It's 7 o'clock.
Thank you very much. The August meeting of the Oregon Country Fair Board of Directors will come to order. And we'll begin with announcements. If you have an announcement, please raise your hand in chat. John Steinhardt.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I had a really awesome time at the event this year and wanted to express my thanks to everybody that worked their butts off to put on a wonderful event yet again. Thank you all.
Jeffrey, you're going to...
All right. I have a number of announcements, actually. So thank you for everybody for your time here. As a ongoing reminder, please remember that the 2025 ballots will be coming in your email inbox for most members. So be aware of that and be looking for that in and around mid-September. And as always, please make sure that your street address and your email address is updated in Sunshine because that's where we will be pulling the data from. A couple of dates to think about here. The advisory petition deadline was August 31st. There were no petitions received at the office or in the elections email box. So that deadline has passed and we haven't seen any petitions at all. A lot of other key dates here. August 17th is a deadline to submit candidate statements. And then the next big date, I think we'll talk more about dates coming up here, but September 11th is the last day that one can sign up to be a voting member. So August 17th, candidate statement deadline, September 11th, membership voting deadline. Vanessa and I just last updated the two documents on the election site. The one is for the board candidate eligibility and application info. So I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that that's been updated with some new dates and updated with kind of the 2025 view. And then also the voting member eligibility and responsibility documents been updated on the .NET site. So we wanted to let everybody know that those are updated documents. Beyond that, a couple of things I want to recognize here. Brett Rollett's team worked the fair. They signed up 1,531 new members at the fair. And so that was really a great effort. We've been processing those forms for the last week or so. We're having success with processing most of them, and they did really a fantastic job. And they brought a lot of new voices and a lot of new members into the fair. So Brett was good to work with, and then we're going to be setting up the candidates forum here in the next couple of weeks. So tied to that, the election committee, Heidi, Merrill, Jen Lynn, have been inputting these 1,500 documents along with me. Tremendous amount of work from that team lately. And we should be done with all those 1,500 input tasks here by the end of the week. So that's going well. And then finally, Mr. Steinhardt has been just a tremendous asset when it comes to elections. He has been helping us almost nonstop with Sunshine and preparing Sunshine for elections. Great partner. His response has been wonderful. So John, thank you. Couldn't be doing this without you. So that's it.
Thank you. And AJ.
Yeah, I just have a brief announcement that the board will be having a board listening session on August 18th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. And the details and the agenda for that will be on the .NET site shortly when that's finalized. So, a board listening session on August 18th. It's post-fair, so if you have any comments or things you want to talk about, this is a listening session, so it's the membership's opportunity to share with the board anything they want to share. And look for the agenda for that on the .NET site coming up soon.
Thank you. Sandra.
Okay, I wanted to remind everybody that the board passed a policy for granting the educational areas of the fair up to one or more people up to $5,000 a year. And those applications are due at the end of the month. So I hope that we can come up with, and all the information on that is on the .NET side under philanthropy. So I hope we get some really wonderful proposals. Thank you.
Thank you. Paxton.
I really want to encourage everyone to attend the board listening session. I have been, along with Jen Lynn, responsible for the evaluation meetings for probably the last 20 years. And both of us having problems decided not to do it this year. So I'm really happy that the board is having a listening session kind of in place of that. So if you have evaluation, please come to the board listening session. Thank you very much.
Last call for announcements. Okay, that's not an announcement, I don't think. David Hoffman, do you have an announcement or what? Last call for announcements. Raise your hand in chat. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the minutes. AJ, go ahead. You're muted.
Hey, so I forgot to just put out there to the membership, and that is election season is coming. If you think that you have qualities, if you think that you can impact this organization in a positive way, and that you have a skill set to do that, please consider running for the board. I would love to see more people run for the board and take this job on than we usually have. So I want all of you guys that have been asking questions and curious about it. Remember that deadline is August 17th. Get your statements in.
Okay, thank you. Moving on. Is there any objection to adopting the minutes of the June 29th, 2025 meeting as submitted? Last call. Is there any objection to adopting the June 29th, 2025 meeting minutes as submitted? Seeing none, they're adopted by unanimous consent. We're into agenda review. If you have anything for agenda review, please raise your hand in chat. John Steinhardt.
Yeah, I would like it if somebody could explain the EDIB work group motion. I have no idea what that's about. I have not seen the EDIB work group ask the board for an extension. I've not seen any report from them, any indication of what they're going to do with their year's extension that somebody's asking for on their behalf. So I have actually no idea what I would be voting on here.
Okay, I think that would come up with the motion, although the motion should be clear. Is the motion clear on the document? The motion is in the old business motions here. I did get a notice that they're going to ask to postpone this, which would be appropriate to do now if you're going to do that, Arna.
I can do that.
Sure.
I didn't know this was the time to do it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine to do it now.
Yes, I would like to propose that we move this to the September meeting, and so that the board has time to read EDIB's report. We have a tentative date, but that we should have it mid-August. And I would get that to the board members as soon as possible.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
So it's been moved and seconded to postpone the EDIB extension in old business to the September board meeting. Is there any member input on this? Please raise your hand in chat. We're specifically talking not about the motion, but about postponing it until September. Is there any member input? Last call for member input. Okay, seeing none, we'll go to board discussion. Is there any board discussion on postponing this until September? John Steinhardt.
Yeah, I hate to be repetitive here, but I don't have any information on which to vote on this. I have no idea what this motion is about and have seen nothing on it to date. So I would love it if somebody would explain it so I would have some idea of whether it's appropriate to postpone it or not.
Well, let's clarify then your question, John. I see a motion that says to extend the work time of the EDIB work group. And in old business, I see move to extend the work time of the EDIB work group for 1 year to allow them to finish their task. What is not clear? Can you clarify?
I haven't seen anything about what they would do with that year or what they've done with their last 9 months. So I don't know what task they would be continuing or putting more work into. I really know nothing about this except that they're asking for a year extension without writing the board and asking for an extension.
So if so, in trying to keep the conversation about postponement, is there anyone who could respond to John, Teresa, or Arna? Well, hang on.
Arna.
Either one of us
go ahead.
can.
Yeah. Do you want to respond to John as well on relevant, please, to postponement?
The work group is right now working on a report explaining what they've done and where they're going, a progress report to give to the board, which, as Teresa said, you guys will have in plenty of time for the September meeting. And that, John, should hopefully answer your questions. We're just now asking for a postponement to table this motion till September so that everybody will have that report in hand by the time we vote on this motion.
Thank you.
I hope that covers it.
Teresa?
Yeah, I would say the exact same thing, that what you want is coming. And and I think it will answer all of your questions.
Thank you. Is there any more? So John, go ahead.
When we finally see this information, shouldn't it be new business and not old business?
It's the same business. We're asking for an extension. The report will give you the information about it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I spoke out of turn.
Yeah. So to clarify procedurally, this was new business last month, correct? It's old business this month. If it is postponed to next meeting, it is old business next month.
Now, I'm concerned that it's just a placeholder and not actually accompanied by any information.
Okay, well, that's an objection to the motion itself, and this is about postponement specifically. So whether one, I read the motion as written, which is an extension. So a very simple, short motion. Whether or not the other information is relevant to your decision on whether or not to extend the group, which I think is the part of the reason that's being discussed here. Right now, we're only discussing whether or not to extend. Is there any more discussion on extending the postponing? Pardon me. Is there any more discussion on postponing until next month, specifically? Seeing none, we'll proceed to a vote. Sandra,
Yes.
Paxton,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
AJ,
Yes.
John Steinhardt,
Abstain.
John Govsky,
Yes.
John Alexander,
Yes.
Teresa Vaughn,
Yes.
Arna,
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
The motion passes with one abstention. The motion is postponed until September. Anything else for agenda review? Please raise your hand in chat. Last call for agenda review. Okay, seeing none, we'll go to member input, member comments. Do any members who have comments on items not on the old business agenda? Please raise your hand in chat if you'd like to speak. Member comments on anything not on old business? Last call. Seeing none, we'll move to staff reports. And Kirsten.
Thank you, Steve. Good evening, everybody. Hope you all had the most fabulous fair ever. Got a bit of a long report, so I'm going to jump right in. First, congratulations to everybody on another great fair. Deepest of gratitude to the coordinators, the crew leaders, the volunteer staff for getting the site ready, to the artists, entertainers, and restaurateurs for putting on a great show, to the employees who work year round to support all the amazing individuals that make the fair a success. You are all an essential part of making the fair magic. I do hope you feel the love that you create. 2025 admissions compared to 2024. On Friday, we sold 11,855 tickets. That was down 1,810. On Saturday, we sold 14,590 tickets. That was down 861 from 2024. On Sunday, we sold 8,905 tickets. That was down 497 from 2024. Our total tickets sold were 35,350. We were down 3,168 tickets. I will say that a lot of events struggled this year with ticket sales, and I think in light of that fact, we did very well. So congratulations to everybody. On the budget front, most revenue categories achieved their budget. Ticket sales revenue was off by approximately $170,000 to budget. The total revenue through Sunshine Database, which is all of our internal population, was $1.7 million. I do list quite a few items sold by inventory type, the total number of items, not dollar amounts, but total. I'm not going to run through that huge list. It will print in FFN, and you can get an idea of all the things that we sold through the database. Additionally, I note what the complementary inventory was, which is like staff wristbands, trade wristbands, and complementary regular vehicle and oversized vehicle stickers. So I could throw out numbers and you'd all just glaze over so you can read it in the FFN. How's that? This data, which now resides in one database, represents a significant accomplishment for OCF. I know it hasn't been easy to get here, and I want to thank everyone for their efforts in learning it. I can assure you that the hard part is over and it will only get better and easier to use. We have a great team assembled and they will continue to improve the Sunshine Database. Reconciled July financials will be presented to the board at the September board meeting. So we're still really kind of collecting data, both income and expense. Pretty much income is done, but we're reconciling to make sure we got it all and everything is exactly as it should be. Expenses won't be fully known until after August 31st. That is the deadline for coordinators to submit all expenses for the 2025 fair. On the administration front, I am sad to announce that Norma Sachs has retired as our office manager bookkeeper. Her last day was July 31st. I want to thank her for her years of service to OCF. She came out of retirement in 2022 to help OCF get back on its feet after the pandemic, and we couldn't have done it without her. We will be honoring her at this year's Teddy Bear Picnic. It is also her 81st birthday. Hope you can come out and celebrate Norma with us. Additionally, I'm sad to announce that the resignation of Mark Malaska, our event manager. He is pursuing work that is more in line with his professional goals. He served this organization for 4 years, and in that time, his contributions were many. We wish him all the best in his future endeavors. His last day was July 31st as well. I will begin recruiting for this position in September 2025, and I hope to have this position filled by January 2026. Typo on my part there. The 2024 financial statements are underway, and I expect to have them to the board at the September meeting. The 2024 990 and CT 12 tax filings are complete and awaiting the finalization of the financial statements. The annual meeting is scheduled for Saturday, October 11th at 6 p.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Church. This is a hybrid meeting and a Zoom link will be provided, as well as we encourage people to watch it on YouTube. The Board of Directors election is Saturday, October 18th. Ballots are due at the Eugene office by 8 p.m. on that day. Candidate statement deadline is Sunday, August 17th at 8 p.m. Please email your candidate statement to elections@OregonCountryFair.org. The candidate forum is scheduled for Sunday, September 28th at 4 p.m. via Zoom. Friday, September 19th is the deadline to register to vote in this election. I might be off. I think I heard him say the 17th. So go with Jeffrey's number. I tried to confirm these with him and we kind of maybe got a little off there. Marketing. The media covered our event very well. Social media coverage was excellent. Advertising was effective. Oregon Public Broadcasting promoted the 1-hour special about us heavily. That probably made a big difference in our ticket sales. Lots of events this year struggled to sell tickets. The event on the event management side, the Teddy Bear Picnic is Saturday, August 16th from 2 p.m. until dusk. Attendees can camp on site on Saturday, August 16th. Only volunteers that support the event can camp on Friday night, August 15th. The entertainment this year is Sugar Beats from 4 to 7 p.m. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and their veggie equivalents will be served at 3 p.m. Feel free to bring a dish to share with your picnic group. On the site management side, the site is looking good and almost everything has been put away. Dust, as we know, there has been concern shared about how dusty it was this year. We put 300,000 gallons of water on our roads from June 7th through July 14th. Just want you to let that sink in. 300,000 gallons of water hit our roads in 6 weeks. This is much more than we have ever done. We rented a water truck and hired a watering company that brought 2 additional watering trucks. The hotter it is, the less effective adding water to the roads is. We will continue to address this with more resources. Portable toilets, United Site Service did a much better job this year. Thank you to the Peachy Clean team for stepping up and taking care of our units during pre-fair and post-fair and working with United to get all their units into place and serviced. Special thanks to Jennifer Barnes and Dan Lent, who really rose to the occasion and made it happen. Culture Jam is happening right now, and we will put away shortly after it is over. It ends this Thursday, so very exciting. All the kids are having fun at Culture Jam right now. The last event we have, well, we have a track meet in September, but the Beaver Open is the next event that site employees will be preparing for, and it is held over Labor Day weekend. Again, deepest appreciation and gratitude to all of you for a really wonderful fair. I know we all worked hard, played hard, and I hope you all really feel like your cup has been filled. Thank you.
Thank you, and move to the treasurer's report.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. I'll echo a few things that Kirsten said, though. I want to join in thanking Norma. Before she returned in 2022, she had been here decades. She has served the fair with love, dedication. She has handled high volumes of complicated transactions. She has worked late into the evenings to keep up with things. She just has brought just an incredible amount of dedication and determination to her job, and just a great passion. So much thanks and gratitude for her, both personally and as an organization. She's been an integral part of the fair's success and smooth functioning, and the love that she brings has really made a huge difference as well. Then I also want to echo a few things about the database. The numbers that Kirsten was referring to, of having these numbers of how many passes went out. This is the actual first year that we're able to do this so closely, and it's due in large part to the incredible amount of work that the database team did. And this year, the big difference was registration crew and entertainment crews came in, and that was a big deal for both of those groups to come in. And I want to thank their coordinators. I want to thank everybody who made that happen. I want to thank the inventory crew. All these people went to great lengths. Inventory crew in particular was very much working closely with the entertainment coordinators to make sure that some of their special needs could be met. Just want to say a lot of appreciation. I know it wasn't easy, and if it's like the other crews, it will get easier next year for you to do that. And a big thanks to staff. It's everything that we do as volunteers, I think there's a certain level of a safety net of having the staff back there. Sometimes we don't call on them, but in my experience, when we do, they have been able to, pull through for us and, just be a big help. And their dedication and their professionalism means an awful lot. And, Mark in particular, I do want to give him a shout out. He's been really great, and I hope his next endeavor brings him a lot of joy and success as well. By the annual meeting, we will have more analysis. Kirsten will have, pretty good numbers. Like, they're never final till they're final after the end of the year, but she will have good numbers for the board. Yeah, she mentioned, but we'll have some analysis by the annual meeting and, kind of looking at the big picture and making some projections for the end of the year. So it's still really too early to do that. And speaking of that, what will help us, if you have receipts and reimbursements, you need to either get them to your coordinator or be a coordinator. You can go on the .net site and use the expense reimbursement form. And if you need to contact the office about questions, it's Melissa at OregonCountryFair.org. It's not office, that goes to Alex. You want Melissa, who in the past it would have been Norma at OregonCountryFair.org, but now it's Melissa. And thank you, Melissa. Really appreciate you diving in there and taking on this big job and finishing up the year's events transactions. So by August 31st, that's a month earlier than usual. We think that it can work for most people, and if it can't, talk to Melissa and or your staff liaison about that. Let's see. Just a heads up, we haven't really started to look forward to the budget process too much yet. It kind of takes looking and seeing what this year's results are. But one thing we did talk about last year that I want to give people, coordinators in particular, a heads up on. The budget committee does want to get our files refreshed. We now have all of our more recent archives, 10 years worth of archives on Google Drive. So we have scans of budget request forms for about the last 10 years. Our older paper copies, we're not referring to anymore. And the paper copies is where a lot of our old data about how crews are structured and what their schedules are and things like that are. And we need to update that information, you know, like with my crew, for example, with Chela Mela, to give information of how many of the passes are used for setup, how many of the passes are used for entertainment support, how many of the passes for, you know, teaching juggling. So we don't need to know what every single person does, but we need to get a broad outline of how the crew's functioning, what the functions are, how many people are devoted to different tasks. So we're going to work with coordinators to try to develop, you know, to rebuild that archive. And I think that's it for me. Thanks, everybody.
I'm sorry, can I interject? We do need a motion from a board member to remove Mark Malaska from all bank accounts and add Vanessa Roy to all bank accounts. If we could dispense with that business, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
I
So-
move that we remove Mark.
I'll second.
it.
Okay. Who was that? John Govsky?
I
made the
tried.
motion.
Yeah, okay. So moved by Teresa Vaughn and seconded by John Govsky to remove Mark Alaska from all bank accounts and to add Vanessa Roy to all bank accounts. And the first thing I'm going to do is ask if there is any objection on the board, given the obvious timeliness of the motion, to moving this from new to old, to considering this is old business tonight.
Actually, this is part of the treasurer's report,
Treasurer's report.
which we continue budget items and treasurer's report. So it's not new business.
It's not considered new bit. Okay, well,
Right. We consider it just a standing open item that we can introduce things through.
well, yeah, okay. That's news to me to introduce a motion during it. I mean, I know we've done some of these before, but so it seems to me it's just as easy to ask if there's any objection, because there probably shouldn't be, right? Is there any objection? Last call. Seeing that there's no objection, is there any member input on this motion? Please raise your hand in chat. Any member input? Seeing none, we'll go to board discussion. Is there any board discussion on this motion? Last call. Seeing none, we'll proceed to a vote. The board is voting on whether or not to remove Mark Malaska from all bank accounts and add Vanessa Roy to all bank accounts. Sandra,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Paxton,
Yes.
AJ,
Yes.
John Steinhardt,
Yes.
John Govsky,
Yes.
John Alexander,
Yes.
Teresa Vaughn,
Yes.
Anna,
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously. Anything else on the report? Moving on to committee and work group reports. Is there any objection to accepting the committee and work group reports as submitted? Last call. Is there any objection to accepting the committee and work group reports as submitted? Seeing none, the committee and work group reports are adopted by unanimous consent. The first item on the agenda of old business is the only item of agenda on old business. That is to add Hillary, Anthony, Annie Niedergang, and Greg Murphy and Aaron Davis to the Fixed Assets Committee, sponsored by Sandra, Kevin Levy, and AJ. I hope I got all the names correct. Who would like to make that motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved by Kevin Levy and seconded by John Steinhardt. Is there any member input? And I'll begin by going to any of the members named if they wish to speak about joining this committee. Hillary, would you like to say anything?
Sure. I'd be honored to join this committee. I feel like I have I kind of have a dog in the game, whatever the phrase would be. I have maintained our fixed asset report for over 30 years, so I have some familiarity with our physical plant. And I am, very concerned about how we manage it, and I really appreciate that this committee is trying to work at a higher level of, policy and planning. I think it's really critical. So I would appreciate your support for participating in this committee. Thank you.
Okay, and I see Annie Niedergang is here. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, you are. Hi, I am a practicing architect and I've been a licensed for over 35 years. I have a broad background in commercial, residential, and educational and mixed-use projects. I have experience in sustainable development as well as affordable housing. I was a campus planner for Lewis and Clark College, and along with my partner, we own and operate a couple of neighborhood commercial buildings in Portland. And then for the fair, I have been the farts crew lead for the last 15 years. So
Thank you very much. I do not see or recognize Greg Murphy or Aaron Davis as being present. Am I correct? They are not here.
Aaron Davis said he would be here. I don't know if he is. You can't see him on there?
I do not see an Aaron Davis unless
Okay.
there's a different name, and I don't see a Greg Murphy. So would anyone behind this motion like to give any introductory stuff, and then I'll go back to member input if there's any? Is there anyone who wants to speak to why these people or anything, Sandra?
Yeah, we can. I would just like to go over, I'll tell you a little bit about Aaron Davis. He's been on the security sweep. He's a working SO on the security sweep, and he has a lot of IT experience. Oh, and he's in the Lime Parade, so he's definitely a long time fair person. And his IT background spans 20 years, during which he has worked at Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, Redbox, FTD Flowers, lots of different places. Most recent work is ongoing planning and installation of networks and cybersecurity at the hydroelectric and flood dams, including a lot of dams there. And so he has lots of other cybersecurity, project management, independent research, build of materials, vendor management, technical training. So he's very skilled. I think that he'll be an asset to the committee. And then we have Aaron Davis. Okay, did I get?
Got Aaron Davis in front of me saying I can speak to him.
Okay.
So yeah, Aaron Davis. So he's got 18 years of experience in IT management, software development, project management. Technical background includes expertise in methodologies like Scrum and proficiency with project management software. And so he's done lots of big projects. He's focused on significant projects. He wants to focus on the kitchen expansion. He appreciates that. Beyond his professional qualifications, he's been an active OCF volunteer with the traffic crew, and he participates in the Dragon Parade. And so he is really drawn to the stewardship aspect of the role. I'm really excited. A lot of these folks are first timers, and so it's pretty cool to see folks jumping in with certain skills that maybe they get pulled elsewhere. And so we're happy to have him, and hope everybody supports him as well. Hillary will be running the place before you know it. So thanks.
So I understood Sandra talked about Aaron Davis, and you also talked about Aaron Davis.
No,
She had it mixed up. She was talking about Greg Murphy.
Yeah.
She was talking about Greg Murphy. Okay,
Yeah,
I just want to be sure
sorry.
okay.
Yeah, I
Is-
apologize, Greg.
Okay. Is there any other member input on this motion? Last call. Member input on adding these people to the Fixed Assets Committee? Seeing no member input, we'll go to board discussion. Is there any board discussion on adding these people to the Fixed Assets Committee? Teresa?
I just want to really thank you all for your willingness to step up, and I'm really, really excited about the level of expertise that you're bringing.
Paxton?
I too really appreciate the skills that this new members of our work groups are bringing. I really look forward to their work. Thank you.
Thank you. John Steinhardt.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for stepping up and going the extra mile and volunteering. And I do kind of get the feeling that the geeks are taking over the fair, and that's actually okay with me.
Stephen, I think you missed John Alexander. I see him.
All right.
It was quite a while ago, though.
Oh, it was quite a while ago. That was about reports, and I had a separate chat with him. Do you want to? Did you have anything else, John?
No,
Okay.
just
John
want to make
Goff-
sure we're using the chat right.
Okay. John Gowski.
I also wanted to echo thanks. I mean, when people, agree to do a lot of work for the fair, it's just a wonderful thing, and we appreciate it.
Okay. Is there any other board discussion? Is there anybody opposed? Okay. Last call for board discussion. Okay, seeing none, we're going to proceed to a vote. Sandra,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Paxton,
Yes.
AJ,
Yes.
John Steinhardt,
Yes.
John Gowski,
Yes.
John Alexander,
Yes.
Teresa Vaughn,
Yes.
Arna Shaw,
Yes.
Kevin Levy.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously. Next month, new business is to amend the bylaws, Article 7, Section 2C, sponsored by AJ, John Steinhardt, and Sandra. Are we doing anything different this month, AJ, regarding this, or moving on?
Nope, we have a listening session later in the month.
Okay. Next board meeting, there's a listening session August 18th, 2025 at 7 p.m. via Zoom. It's a post-fair listening session, hearing comments from members on the this year's fair. Monday, September 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. via Zoom is the next board meeting and meeting evaluation. Is there anyone who'd like to say something for meeting evaluation, please raise your hand in chat. Members or board members, anyone who has something for meeting evaluation. Lawrence Taylor.
Thanks. I'm working on this here. Let me see if I can get things to work. Okay. Hang on. I might get my video to work too. Bear with me. Hello. Maybe I'm a blank screen today, but that's okay. And I do apologize for not jumping in during member input. And I hope, given that we're doing so well on time, that you will indulge me in something that might have been better in member input. Having had
Okay,
the
well, hold on. AJ,
It's-
hold on. So AJ, is it okay to have somebody provide member input now during meeting evaluation? Because
No,
You
we
might
can-
like this, AJ.
it doesn't matter whether I like it. It's about fairness. And if you can somehow be creative, which I believe you can, make it about beating evaluation.
Okay, well, gosh, I hope I can. Really, what it is I had the opportunity to view the OPB video the other day, and I was struck by a lot of things, but one of the things I really wanted to acknowledge was that our president correctly identified himself as the president of the fair, thereby honoring not only his position, but the relationship between the officers and the community as a whole. So I just wanted to say thank you, AJ.
thank you. John Alexander, that was a direct message, so people might not see it. Go ahead,
Oh,
John.
sorry. Didn't mean to do
It's all right.
that. Yep,
No
now
worries.
I'm in the wrong chat. Cool. Stephen, as always, way to run it. I appreciate everybody getting through. I'm glad we moved the EDIB thing to where we'll have more information as requested. And I would just like all of the board members to remember our guidelines around how we use the chat. I really appreciated the very well prepared statements from Hillary and Kirsten, and I think we got to keep our hands in the chat and everything else out so we're not distracted from the well prepared reports that we're getting. So thank you all for that. Let's remember the rules. Appreciate it.
Thank you, John. And I will just chime in a little bit on that with everything from facial expressions to writing things in the chat all distract from listening to the person who is speaking. So we want to be respectful of whoever has the floor by giving our attention to that person and not trying to draw it away, either with things happening on the screen or in the chat. I didn't see really a problem with it. I'm not sure exactly what John was looking at, but that should be the norm. Shell Bell.
Hey, thanks. Fire Dick, known as Steve. I always appreciate your professionalism and your efficiency, and that meetings have become routinely shorter. And also, I'm looking for a little indulgence as I missed announcements, and I just wanted to put it out there on the record that we lost Christopher Fitzgerald, who was a 30-year member of construction crew, and he passed in the wee hours of June 28th at home on the property surrounded by family. And so I missed the Junely meeting to announce it then, and I just wanted to make sure that it was in our minutes. And we all called him Chris Fitz, and it's been a big impact on the community. And thank you on behalf of the family for all the love and support that has gone the way of the Fitzgerald family. So that's all.
Thank you very much. Certainly we can make an exception for something like that. Is there any more meeting evaluation? Last call for meeting evaluation. Okay, President's Piece.
Well, I won't keep you too much longer, but I do want to give a shout out to Pre-Post Security this meeting. One of the beautiful things that I have a chance of being a part of every year is what Pre-Post Security does, and seeing the new volunteers and the new faces that show up to fair every year and put in hard work in the hot sun with many a cars with dust going by them, and these young folks this year with smiles on their faces doing the hard work that I used to do. And so I want to just spend some time saying thank you. What you do and what you provide for this organization is absolutely wonderful, and I appreciate it, and I know this board and our community appreciates what you do. Welcome if this was your first year. Welcome to the fair, and we look forward to seeing you again next year. And lastly, I want to just say thank you, Norma. I met Norma, probably 15 years ago, and she embodies what I see as just a genuine, good freaking person. I don't use the love word very often to human beings that are not my family, but I love this woman. She's amazing. She's been amazing for our community. Anytime I get to spend with her, I feel rejuvenated. I feel like I'm a part of her family. I'm going to miss her around the office when I show up, but I know I'm going to see her everywhere in our community. Thank you, Norma, for all that you've done. And we love you, and enjoy your retirement.
Thank you very much. And with that, the August meeting of the Oregon Country Fair Board of Directors is adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. See y'all.